Welcome to today's episode of In Conversation With. Today I'm lucky to be joined by Cijo from Mitie. Thank you for making the short trip up here from London Bridge.
Thank you very much, David. Beautiful office. Fantastic. I look at the facilities, I get fascinated. Yeah, well done.
Well, given the background of Mitie, I'm sure that people will very quickly understand why.
Yeah.
Your office must be quite beautiful, I'd imagine, in the Shard.
It is an amazing office. There's a story behind it. We took that office, it was just a shell.
Yeah.
And the Mitie engineering went in, the Mitie designers went in. The complete office is a Mitie design. And quite a lot of modern technology in there as well. Quite a lot of sensor technologies, the cleaning technologies. You have got around 6 o'clock, the robots comes out and clean the floors. Yeah, it's a pretty fascinating office.
Well, look, let's start with that, because people might be thinking, hang on, the Mitie design goes in. What do you want about? Who are Mitie? What do Mitie do?
Yeah, a little bit about Mitie. Mitie is UK's leading facility management company. We are roughly around 4 billion revenue per year, and we have got 75,000 colleagues, where 60,000 our colleagues are frontline heroes, which means they're out in there looking after the facilities, keep it efficient, keep it safe, keep it clean, and keep it secure. So we are very proud about it. We have got 149 nationalities working within this organization. We are very UK focused, and we are predominantly, you walk in pretty much any big supermalls, or you walk in any supermarkets, and you walk into railway stations or airports, we are there.
And one thing we haven't said is, well, what do you do, Phil?
I'm the Chief Technology and Information Officer for Mitie, and I look after the technology rollout within Mitie and to our clients.
Now, Mitie's been on a bit of a transformation journey yourself over the last 5 years.
Yes.
Could you describe that for us? Because, I mean, look, everyone's going to be sitting here going, facilities management, obviously there's been some challenges over the last couple of years at least, but what's that transformation journey look like for the business?
It's a very good question as well, and a very interesting journey, because the portion you said about the facility management itself gone through a very traditional rough patch. The traditional facility management company has gone through a very rough patch. Itself became a need for us to change. So when our CEO Phil Bentley took over around 5 years back, he straight away see that we have got pretty rich data and we have got an amazing talent of people, but what we were lacking is a people process technology landscape or a transformation. And that's the journey we started. We looked at our people, we looked at the facilities we serve, and we brought technology in middle to bring everything together. And over the 5 years, technology has become the core pillar of our strategic growth.
The fact that the business has transformed and grown to that extent suggests that there are demands being made of facilities and workspaces. I suppose as a general overview before we dive into some more detail, how has facilities management evolved and what do people want from workspaces?
So there's quite a lot of evolution happened. Or within Mitie, we evolved, or we reinvented ourselves last 5 years. We reinvented ourselves to keep us competitive, to make sure that we get the best cost to serve value. We make sure that our customers are looked after well with the technology and they get the best services from us. So quite a lot of stuff we started what we called connected workspace. We started around 3 to 4 years back, especially around the technology side, connecting the people, the process and the facility manager with the technology. Now, that was Mitie journey. So we were pushing out quite a lot of technology to our client, to our cleaning frontline staff, to our engineers. Then COVID happened. And when COVID happened, all of a sudden, you could see that facility management become the core pillar. I mean, people want to go back to the office if it is safe and clean and secure. The paradigm of the facility management changed completely. And luckily for us, because we had a strategy 5 years back to be technology enabled, to make sure that people are connected up with big data solutions and the IoT, it helped us during the COVID time, and it helped us in our growth strategy as well. Right in the middle of the pandemic, we acquired Interserve FM, which is one of the other facility management company out there. That shows that we were happy to take big bets and challenge because we were ready with technology to absorb new companies into our Mitie landscape.
So during the pandemic, the technology estate of an organisation expanded to include people's kitchen tables.
Yeah.
And when we talked about security, people suddenly thought about a company's perimeter being the kitchen table.
Yeah.
But now we're coming back into the workspace, and as you said, people want to come into the office if it's safe, if it's clean, if it's secure.
Yeah.
What are people expecting or bringing from their dining room, their kitchen table, into the workspace? What are they looking for, and what demands are they placing of a collaborative environment?
It's a very good question. I mean, if you think about, all of us went back to our drawing rooms, our kitchens, our hall rooms, wherever we could sit and have if you're a family man, I got 2 kids as well, wherever we could get a less noise place where I can find a corner, wherever it is, because kids are studying in another room. What happened was people, there's a good and bad. I'll go through the good part of it. People get more used to the technology they have got there in hands. They got used to some wonderful remote methodologies like Teams, whether it is Microsoft Teams or whether it is your Zoom. People start a new way of communicating each other, which means people were not trained for that. I mean, if you think about it, when you traditionally roll out a technology in any offices, whether it is facility management or banking or utilities, there's a whole lot of training goes around, people get used to it, end user training. Nothing happened because people were found innovative way to connect with their machines, to connect with others. So they get used to working with their mobile phone, with their machines, much more closer. What does that give the opportunity to companies like us, where we were pushing mobile app to order a coffee, to book a space before you come in or book a meeting room? That become very natural for people. I mean, if people coming to Shard now in our offices, they book space through a mobile app called Aria. They can do it at their home. They can pick up a date. They can pick up the slot. They can also book meeting rooms. They can consult with their own colleagues who is going to come in on the same day and collaborate more. So these become natural for them. There's no, there's no sell to them. It's a push. That's the need. That becomes, so what we are seeing is technology become a more prominent role, the way people now look at facilities. I mean, they don't want to walk into a facility where they can't book a meeting room. They don't know how many people are there. They don't know the colleagues whom they work remotely are all going to be there. Now imagine if you have got all that access before even you come in, you know that you are going to have a very productive day. So that's all the good side. The bad side, what we've seen is people became digitally fatigued a little bit. There is no real start and stop. And that also helped for facility management company like us to push technologies to them, because for them to get the break from that digital fatigue, they need to come out of the situation what they are in, whether it is a home, their hall rooms or kitchen, come out, walk to a railway station, take a train, take a bus. That's all part of a social being what you are as a human. You need that social interaction. You need to come out of it. And when you come out, you are also coming out with the know-how that I am going to be in an office. I am going to be with the people who I see them remotely or in digitally, and I'm going to interact with them. So that entire transition now we look after. So we enable them to come out safely and securely. They know that I can go to office, and that gives them the break for them from their digital fatigue back, fatigue which they are in. They get the break, they come to the office, being productive, then go back with the knowledge that I've met the people whom I collaborate physically, I've got that social touch, now I'm going back. And then they can go back and then do the remote again for a couple of days, then come back again.
Rightly or wrongly, probably unfairly, before the pandemic, I suppose facilities management was probably seen as a fairly low-skilled part of the workforce. Data, I suppose, is moving it up the priority list for an organisation because they can unlock insights. But still, when I think about the office environment, I think of people, I think of HR teams, I think of surveys, pulse surveys, I think of feedback, I think of stuff that isn't inherently data specific or data intensive. So how is specifically data and technology helping those teams, and I suppose therefore attaching greater value to facilities management?
It's a great question. If you talk to any organization, I mean, let's take big organization, technology organization like Microsoft or AWS or Salesforce, or you take organization like yours, like whether it is your HR team or you, one of the prominent discussions in most of the discussions around the executive tables are a couple of things. Safety, obviously, that is a concern for everybody. What happens if a pandemic comes back? How we are making sure that the people are coming back in safe? Then suddenly you turn into ESG, you turn into energy saving, decarbonization. You have got big numbers coming through to meet all this obligation, how we are going to meet. And the biggest energy consumption and carbon emission happens in the facilities you are in. 30% of the carbon emission happens there. So our science of service, which we speak about to our client, is whatever you talk about in the current dynamics about saving the energy, making your facilities efficient, or have a productive work-life balance for your employees, or meeting your ESG target, you do need to interact with your facility managers suddenly. You need to interact with your facility management company suddenly, because they hold the key to unleash opportunities in all these areas you're talking about. Because otherwise you can't meet them, because if your buildings are running energy efficient, of course you should be thinking that current crisis, you should be optimizing your buildings. There you go, their savings come. Are you meeting your decarbonization metrics or the commitments you made to the city, or you made to your shareholders, or you made to yourself? You do need to speak to us. You do need to speak to the facility management companies, because they will help you in that. Are your employees are well looked after, or are they being productive coming from a home environment to suddenly to office environment? Whom are you going to speak to? You have to speak to the facility management company. So suddenly you could see that we are the force which was behind the curtain 5 years or 3 years back is now in the forefront. We are having the table in the executive table and discussing about the critical activities you have to do or the commitments you made.
Your business has gone through transformation. Yeah. A lot of organizations are having to pivot or go through transformation and are facing new challenges. Yeah. As a leader, what skills, what attributes do you think on a personal level have helped you lead that business through that period?
I would say there are a couple of things, isn't it? I mean, when you talk about change, people generally don't want any change. I mean, people are scared about change. But when you talk about opportunities, when you talk about curiosity, when you talk about solving a problem which you are continuously going through, you are making a change to make the situation change without knowing that you are actually part of a change. So the journey which Mitie gone through is not we are saying that we are doing a big transformation program, let's spend some money on it and see what happens and bring lots of consultants to help us. No, we had a need to change. It was a question of survival, as you said, 5 years back. If you look at big names around the facility management, they were struggling. So for us, it was a question of survival. What happens when you have got a question of survival? You come up with innovative idea to run your business in a much better way, much efficient way. What happens there? People will start thinking differently. They start thinking about tools and techniques to make it more efficient. You are actually the part of the change without you knowing you are going through the change. So what the leadership, me as a leader, is about having that curiosity, having that challenge to myself and my team to look things differently, trying to have that problem solving. I mean, one of the great things about technologists is always in a continuous problem solving mode, because we are looking at a 5-year plan, then we start the journey now because we always look ahead, and you are always on that, I need to solve this, I need to do it in a much better way. And that helps you. And doing that is making you a continuous change and continuous improvement.
Look, it's been a pleasure for you to give up some time and come in and talk to us and share some of the Mitie stories. So I want to thank you for that.
Yeah, most welcome. Thank you very much, David, for having me here.
If you've enjoyed today's episode of In Conversation With, hang around on the website. Do take a look. There are plenty more episodes for you to dive into.